Well, welcome back. Just about 10 minutes after the hour, which, if you watch Fox Wilmington, you know it's time to do the trending segment. We bring out Ryan P.C. Trimble, who's typically in the back telling us what to do, when to do it. Now we get to do it to Ryan. You do trending now.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do it. So one show that aired right here on Fox Wilmington has gotten a lot of attention recently, and it's called Cosmos, and it's hosted by Neil Tyson. It is a miniseries that details all kinds of fun things about our universe and space in general, and it's actually a reboot of an older show that was originally hosted by Carl Sagan. It aired, like I said, here on Fox in order to get it out to the widest audience possible, because they thought about airing it on like PBS or National Geographic. It's actually rerunning on National Geographic afterwards, but it worked because 8.5 million people actually tuned in to watch the opening episode, which was pretty incredible.
It was neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but I've seen a few of the previews.
It was a very interesting show. They went into just mind-blowing stuff about our universe, and I'm not too interested in space very much, but I was just fascinated by it.
I know when I saw the promos for it on during commercial breaks that I thought it was one of the National Geographic, they did the Earth thing.
Like, yeah.
I thought it was one of those.
Yeah.
And then you saw dudes flying around and floating, and I thought,
like,
that's not what this
a little
is.
different.
but just the way it was filmed and shot, technical term.
Yeah.
It's spectacular to look at.
Oh yeah, it's beautifully put together. Like even these images, like if you can't see them, or if you can't hear them, they're just pretty to look at. So.
That is neat.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to watch it.
We will definitely have to watch it. So our next story is still sort of about film. The South by South Film Festival in Austin, Texas, brings together a very diverse crowd. And yesterday, one person showed up who I know a lot of people in the government would have preferred if he didn't show up at all. NSA, leaker, Edward Snowden answered questions in a live web chat for an interactive event at the conference. He said things like he believed every society has actually benefited from his leaks, and that he was acting in the name of the Constitution. This is a quote from him. He says, "I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution, and I saw that the Constitution was being violated on a massive scale." So that was sort of his defense for why he did. And now we still don't know exactly where he is. We know he's in Russia somewhere.
Yeah. Well, when you first started talking about it, I thought, no, he is not really in Texas.
Yeah, no,
There's no way.
He web chatted in with against a background of the Constitution in the back. So to just sort of
It took me a long time yesterday to figure out the hashtag SXSW.
SXXW?
I couldn't figure out what it actually, and then I figured out what it was because I saw, like you mentioned, I was like, why is Edward Snowden doing this SS? What is this? Because it was all over Twitter, and then I figured out what it was.
Yeah. Because the festival has a lot going on besides his appearances, music, and there's films and TV and stuff. So.
Well, somebody's getting a hold of him because he's doing that. He's done some other things as well. So
yeah. Someone knows how to contact him.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
But he's not letting on exactly how. So. Okay, so for this next story, I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about this last one, but it was trending on Twitter, so I had to kind of look into it. And what I'm talking about is this week's most important television event, the finale of the season of The Bachelor. Ooh. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, here it comes. I'm going to super spoil it, so earmuffs everyone if you don't want it spoiled. Normally, bachelors propose at the end of the show, but Juan Pablo bucked tradition and made things super uncomfortable by giving away the final rose, but not proposing. He picked Nikki Farrell, and he said he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her, but he wasn't ready to marry her yet.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then later during the post-finale wrap-up, the host of the show asked Juan Pablo if he loved Nikki, and then he refused to answer.
Huh.
Yeah.
I would imagine that for this show, you have to sign something that says that you are, the whole point of it is to marry somebody, to find your perfect someone.
That's a very upfront thing about the show.
And marry them, and he just decided not to do that?
Yeah, he was just like, no, I'm gonna, and he would apparently, and I might be corrected if I was wrong, but he was very in a sort of long-term relationship with the last of the two girls, and then he broke it up with her, and then like half proposed to this other girl. But everyone online is calling him the worst bachelor ever. I saw that all over the place.
I watched it back when it first started, and I remember Ryan and I can't think of her name, but they're actually still married and have children. One of the very first Bachelorette shows. I mean, I don't watch it anymore.
You guys keep talking because
You're like, duh.
Well, this is a fun fact I heard about it. The same amount of couples, and it's 5 that have ended up married and staying together from this show, is the same amount of couples who have met and stayed together on The Biggest Loser. 5. So that's the same sort of like viability.
Where did he go? We lost him.
Bob, we lost you.
Hey,
I was talking.
Steve Smith might get traded.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, see?
4 o'clock deadline
Listen to
tonight.
them all the
NFL
time.
trade
Exactly.
They're trying to derail the show
Exactly.
right now. And you don't have a oh, you do have a camera on you.
There we go. I have to sit in the back and hear about you talk about birds
No, we're
for
listening.
like 9 hours.
Go on.
I know,
keep
good
him?
point,
I think
Ryan.
that there's. I
Birds
don't.
fly
It's a
in
salary
the
cap,
sky.
yeah, I think that he's
Wee, I love
I
my
like
name's
your
Colin.
theory
I love birds.
about him going to like New
England or someplace where he may actually win. a
Well,
championship.
since they've
He'll probably
obviously
take a pay
usurped
cut
my
to do that.
authority, I'll just go ahead and throw it
But
over to them anyway.
all-time leading
You guys
receiver
are
in
being
Panthers
rude.
history.
Ryan is trying to wrap up his segment.
Now,
Rude.
Colin can talk about the weather now. So
No,
I'll
wait.
go ahead
Don't
and
we
go
have
over
one
to
more
you.
trenders? Who's the dude next to us right now? Who's this guy right here?
That's him. That's Juan Pablo. Well, he's gone now.
What team is he on?
You know, we've been talking about this for the last couple minutes, and you now are going to pay attention?
Oh, don't start, because I'll do 2 hours of weather, and then you'll ask me in the newsroom what the weather's going to be like.
That's correct. Because doesn't weather change all the time, Colin?
It does change.
Okay,
all the
then.
time.
Juan Pablo
That's
is
why
always
I
a Juan
asked.
Pablo.
What's happened to the show?
I don't know. It's gone.
Some dude named Juan
I
Pablo
lost
interrupted everything.
No, you walked over here. I was being good.
Well, they didn't need me. I don't know what they're talking about. I
could've
don't
been-
watch the show.
I hardly know
I'm
what
a guy. What do I want to watch
Who
The
guys
Bachelor
watch
for?
The
I'm a guy too, Bob, and
I
I
don't
don't.
know, but I don't
literally
care.
said I don't know anything. We're all
I don't
going
care.
over this. This happened.
You
I
need to do
This
the
is like in
weather
my house. I go upstairs to try to
Okay.
get away,
All
and my
right.
kids come up. And
I have no idea what's going on, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
Weather.
Okay.
Which button can I push to
This
get
one
you
right
to
here.
do what
Hit-
you're supposed
hit
to
that.
do?
There you
All
go.
right.
Oh no, we didn't really need to push that one.
Yeah.
I
Push
just
it.
did.
All right,
Shut
so
the station down.
There's a new camera. I told you guys that there was going to be a new camera, didn't I? Here
Yeah.
it is. It's the camera that they have out at Holton Beach. This is going to end up on YouTube. Beautiful conditions out there right now. Traffic's starting to
You
pick
think one
up.
of those people would stop and give you and I a ride?
Bob Bonner.
I think they would.
Come back over here.
Bob, you're being beckoned. Temperatures out there right now in the mid-50s for most locations, or mid-40s to low 50s. 51 degrees in Wilmington, 51 degrees in Oak Island. I do expect to see temperatures today moving up into the 70s. I was just here, getting ready for the next weather forecast, but wow, that was crazy. 77 degrees for your Tuesday afternoon high temperature, 76 degrees for Wednesday. We will see a rain chance and then very breezy and cold conditions on Thursday with a high at 49.